Michigan Kingpins is brought to you by the Metro Detroit USBC Association, your bowling resource. Lawrence Technological University, possible is everything. Frankenmuth Brewery and Restaurant, 150 years of tradition. Sandy Hansel and Associates, bowling is our business. Brunswick, the bowling leader. Trotside Restaurant, Northfield Downs' exciting dining experience. And Turbo Bowling Accessories, driven to bowl. Now, get ready for Michigan Kingpins, Metro Detroit's all-access bowling show. Here's your host, Mark Martin.
Welcome back to Michigan Kingpins. This month we're going to feature lots of high school championship action from across the state. Lisa Bishop, she'll be back in our Cutting Edge segment. Mark Rottenberg, he's going to report on the Open and Women's Championships from the Metro Detroit USBC. Ashley Raymond, she'll talk to the coaches from Lawrence Tech about recruiting. We'll also have highlights from the Women's Series, but first we're going to begin with the highlights from the recent high school team bowling state finals.
We have never been here before, ever. This is our first time. This is a chance to go home a state champ. Pride to our school. Come on, you know what we gotta do. Make space.
We begin out in Sterling Heights at Sunnybrook Lanes for the Division I Boys Team Bowling Championship. An East versus West matchup as U of D Jesuit took on Grand Haven. The Jesuit Cubs, making their first ever appearance in the state finals, got off to a strong start. The sophomore Cameron Cooney gets the strike. That's a cool and collected cat. It's been 8 years since Grand Haven found themselves in the state championship, but have never won a team state title. The sophomore Brennan Backa with the blast. But it would simply be too much U of D. Sophomore Keith Reed, oh yeah, he tossed a sweet 247. U of D Jesuit celebrates as they win their first ever team bowling state championship. Now let's go to the Division I girls finale. Westland John Glenn matched up against the Davison Cardinals. John Glenn in the state finals for the first time in school history. This is the junior Olivia Cabildo dialed in with the strike. Davison looking for their third straight state championship, proving they just simply restocked the shelves with talented keglers. Freshman Kaylee Johnson knocking them all down. Cardinals led by 32 pins after the first Baker game. Davison is so deep and dialed in. Another Cardinal freshman is Taylor Davis. X marks the spot. She bowled a team best 247. Davison wins her third straight Division I Girls Bowling State Championship. Let's go to Ashley Raymond now, who has the highlights from Division II.
Thanks, Lauren. Let's now head to Century Lanes, the site for the Division II Bowling Finals. Starting with the boys, Flint Kearsley took on Marysville in the final. Kearsley looking for its first ever bowling state title. Brandon Richard nailing down the strike. The junior also won the individual state title the next day. Marysville also going for its first bowling crown. Brandon Armstead gets a little help to get that 10-pin down for the strike. He later bowled a 231 in his individual game. As Kearsley starts to pull away, it's Ben Roof calm and cool on the strike. He had a score of 242. They would go on to win their first ever MHSAA Bowling State Championship. Now to the ladies, can the Kearsley girls make it a clean sweep as they took on Bay City Western in the championship match? Kearsley going for its second state title in the last 3 years. Hornet senior Becca Iverson starts it off as she nails the strike. It was all Flint Kearsley this afternoon. Junior Kayla Emmendorfer nails it. She bowled a team best 244 in her individual game. Flint Kearsley would go on and win its second Division II Girls Bowling State title. Now let's head to the West for some Division III Bowling State Finals as we bring in David Faze.
Airport Lanes in Jackson, the site for the Division III Bowling Final, where the boys from Pinconning and the Keglers from Fremont earned the right to go head-to-head with a state title on the line. Get things going in the Bakers games. The Spartans rolling early, and Nick Jeske leading the way. Straight down Broadway here, and a no-doubter to put the strike on the board for Pinconning. But the Packers had just a little too much left in the tank. Here's Seth Pell trying to put the finishing touches on the title, and that would be all she wrote as Pell knocks them down. The Packers celebrate as they put together the total team effort to capture the Division III state title for the second time in 3 years with the hard-fought victory over the challengers from Pinconning. On to the girls now, where first up was Kelsey Lodge of Croswell Lexington. There isn't a better way to get your team off on the right foot than to nail down an early strike, and Lodge does just that. But in the end, the collective efforts of the Pioneers would simply prove too great. This is Victoria Bender calling her shot, and in the process, sealing this one up. The ladies of Croswell Lexington rejoice as they knock off the Hematites of Ishpeming to capture the Division III state title for 2014, the first such title in school history.
Now it's time for Division 4. I'm Ryan Terpstra, and M66 Lanes in Battle Creek played host to the boys' final between Ithaca and Jonesville. Jonesville bowling in the orange, and senior Reed Baker is hurling. That's a strike. He helped pace the Comets throughout the day. Ithaca responding, the Yellow Jackets were first during qualifying, and Blake Gulick sits them all down for his squad. Jonesville, who has never won an MHSAA state title in any sport, kept up the pressure as Baker throws another strike, and the Comets can feel the win coming. Jonesville defeats Ithaca for the Division IV bowling state title. On the girls' side, it was heavy favorite Vandercook Lake taking on upset-minded Rogers City. Vandercook was playing in their 4th straight state final. That's quite an accomplishment for senior Jessica Bunch and her teammates as they took the early lead. Well, Rogers City had upset Sandusky to get to this point, and Nicole Banish picks up the spare under pressure as they went toe-to-toe with Vandercook in the Baker games. Vandercook had won the qualifying round, and their team stayed hot. Kelsey Richard with the strike. She bowled a 180 in her individual. Vandercook Lake are your D4 girls bowling champions.
Hey bowling fans, I'm Ashley Raymond. You're not going to want to go anywhere. We've got a ton more Kingpins still ahead. Mark Martin will be back at Vision Lanes in Westland to talk with Lisa Bishop. This week, find out what Lisa has to offer on the latest and greatest bowling balls on the lane. She'll also give you a lowdown on what makes the difference on the inside of a bowling ball. And find out how high schoolers around the state are getting recruited to LTU's nationally ranked bowling team. You're watching Michigan Kingpins. Stick around.
We want you. We are LTU, Lawrence Technological University, and is one of the nation's best schools for engineering, architecture, and technology. We don't want just anybody. We want students who are curious and driven, students who want to change the world through technology, science, and design. So if you believe that possible is everything, we want you at LTU.
Owning and operating a bowling center is a unique business, and no one knows it like Sandy Hansel and Associates. We have been buying, selling, and valuing bowling centers for over 30 years. We have sold over 500 centers and valued more than 1,200 centers throughout the United States and Canada. We often assist the purchaser in securing financing, obtaining your liquor license transfers, and avoiding potential pitfalls unique to this business. Trust your next bowling center transaction to Sandy Hansel and Associates, bowling's only full-service brokers, appraisers, and financial advisors. You can find us at sandyhansel.com.
300 isn't just a number, it is our destination. Shouting at a ball will make it strike more. Nothing is as satisfying as hurling dangerously heavy spheres at stationary objects and watching X's fill the frames. You know it, we know it. So here's to the ballers, the lane dwellers, the alley cats. A new breed is rising from the lanes. We are DV8. Tonight we bowl.
Are you into bowling? Then you need to check out TurboTech. Located in Chesterfield, Michigan, just 30 miles northeast of Detroit, TurboTech is a USBC regional training facility that has something to offer bowlers of all skill levels. We also offer coaching certification courses and much, much more. So if you're looking for success, there's only one place to go: TurboTech.
Welcome back to Michigan Kingpins. We go back to Vision Lanes in Westland for this month's Cutting Edge segment with Lisa Bishop. Welcome back to LB's Precision Ball Motion. Lisa Bishop, you were with us last month. We learned about shoes, we learned about balls. Now you're going to tell us all about the technology and what makes it roll the way it does, right?
Yes, there's different cover stocks. You have urethane, plastic, and reactive. Now, plastic's usually used just for as a spare ball. It's a straight going ball. Your novice bowler uses that. It's going to slide on the lane. If you want a little bit more texture, trying to get the ball to roll a little bit more and possibly hook it, you're going to want to go with urethane or reactive. Reactive is the best choice. It's just a tackier cover stock that's going to grip the lane. They also have cores inside them. That's going to allow them to roll a little bit more, again, equating to more pin carry.
Or ball motion, right?
Ball motion, yes, exactly.
Hence the name of your pro shop.
Hence the name of the pro shop, Precision.
Right. Okay, and so what do we got here?
We have dull balls, which are going to have more texture to them. The textured surface is going to actually grip the lane, and it's going to hook a little earlier. The shinier balls are going to want to slide on the lane a little bit more, and they're going to give you more back end. And it's very important that you know which way you want your ball to react, because that selection process, when we go into a pro shop, we're going to want to know where we want that ball to hook for you. That's very important.
All right, and what about, do you have a Manhattan rubber around here somewhere?
No, Manhattan rubber's gone, but they have came back out with the Johnny Petraglia LT48.
Oh, that's a Brunswick ball.
Oldie but goodie, yes.
You bet,
yes.
you bet. Tell me about the inside of the bowling ball.
The different shapes?
And the different shapes and how they affect things.
That's why there's so many bowling balls on the market. There's different shapes in each bowling ball. That combined with the cover stock is going to give us different motion down the lane.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for being with us again this month, and I'll see you at the next Women's Series.
Thank you.
Mark, there are only 2 events left in the Metro Detroit USBC Women's Cup Challenge, and there's only 19 points separating the top 3 bowlers in the standings. The Challenge's 5th event at Shelby Lanes had 40 bowlers in the competition, with Sandra Schultz seated first to begin match play, but she was upset in the first round by Michelle Kearns. Kearns would have to face Sasha Hudik in the semifinals, who is currently in 4th place in the Cup standings. They started off pretty even, with Sasha clinging to a 2-pin lead after 3 frames, but it was Kearns that stayed consistent and went on to advance to the finals with a score of 223. The other semifinal match had last event's winner Lisa Bishop against Sarah Littoral from Redford. Bishop took an early 9-pin lead after 3 frames and was bowling consistent. Littoral caught fire and threw a 5-bagger to keep the pressure on Bishop. Both bowlers had trouble in the 10th, but it was Littoral winning by 13 pins with a 247. So the finals matched 2014 Queens champion Michelle Kearns and returning series bowler Sarah Littoral. This was the first series final for either bowler, so this series will crown yet another champion. Michelle started with a split, while Sarah started with a strike and a split of her own. However, Littoral was on a mission, striking in her next 5 frames, while Kearns was getting plenty of pin action but couldn't string them together. It looked like it was going to be over quickly, but Littoral threw a split in the 8th, spared the 9th, and marked in the 10th. 207 proved to be enough to give Sarah Littoral the match and the win. Michelle, you took the long route to get to the finals today. Why don't you tell us what happened?
Well, I struggled a little bit in qualifying. I kind of grinded through. I didn't really qualify very good. I was only 28 plus. But after I got into match play down on, actually it was 3 and 4. It's a tight pair for me. It has been for the last game, and then in match play, I just kind of tightened my shot up a little bit, tried to tighten it up, and got through a good break on that one. She had a couple splits, I believe, to help me out. Then I went down against Sandra Schultz. Sandra Schultz always makes me do my shot. So down on 1 and 2, I felt real comfortable. I shot 270 something, and it felt real good. I felt solid. Then I get to the match play, or the final championship here, and I started out pretty slow. I grinded a little bit, lost a couple shots that I should have carried. Tanisha and Lisa both told me to do a change of tape, and I changed it. The first one I kind of gripped a little bit, and then after that it was good.
Sarah, you took a little time off from the Women's Series. This was your first event back. What made you come back?
I just took a little time off of bowling, started school again, so it was kind of on the back burner, and then once the TOC was here and the pros were here, I just fell in love with the game again and been working really hard at it. So.
Well, you are the 5th champion in 5 events in the Women's Series this year. What does this win mean to you?
It means a lot to me. I've really never been a great singles bowler. That's been my downfall. I've always been in a team, so when I bowled in college, it was great. Now really all I have to look forward to is singles, so it was a nice hump to get over.
So with one event to go, the top 5 Women's Cups points leaders are Lisa Bishop, Sandra Schultz, Julio Chepik, Robin Orlikowski, and Michelle Kearns.
To be a part of the Lawrence Tech University bowling team, recruiting begins far before high schoolers take their ACTs or look for their college acceptance letter. It starts when students are sophomores or even freshmen and have the skill, grades, and love for the bowling game. If you or someone you know is interested in enrolling for the LTU women's or men's bowling team, head on over to LTUathletics.com. When we return, Mark Rottenberg takes us inside the annual party at the USBC Women's and Open Championship. Michigan Kingpins returns right after this.
We want you. We are Lawrence Technological University, and we don't want just anybody. We want students who are curious and driven, students with a passion for hard work and good times, students who will move right in and shoot for the best that Lawrence Tech Southfield campus has to offer. So if you believe that everything is possible and that possible is everything, we want you at LTU.
Come to Frankenmuth's Little Bavaria to enjoy the old world atmosphere, shopping on Main Street, and the food at the Frankenmuth Brewery and Restaurant. This historic destination is located at the north end of Main Street at the top of the hill. The brewery is known for its classic American fare with banquet facilities available. It's the only restaurant in Frankenmuth that has outdoor dining overlooking the scenic Cass River. Frankenmuth Brewery produces award-winning craft beers, ales, and root beers which can be found in your favorite restaurants and stores. Continue the family tradition and come to the Frankenmuth Brewery.
It's bowling season, and the best bowling experience is at Sunnybrook Lanes in Sterling Heights. Enjoy our 58-lane bowling center that includes our sports lounge, video arcade, and plenty of leagues and tournaments for the whole family. Sunnybrook also has a 27-hole golf course, banquet facilities, and full-service motel. Sunnybrook has something for everybody. Check us out at sunnybrookgolfandbowl.com for weekly specials and learn why Sunnybrook is your ultimate family entertainment destination.
If your birthday is near, Thunderbolt Lanes is the place to party. Check out Thunderbolt's Cosmic Bowling with cool light effects and great music. Bowl with your friends, have fun, and when you're done, check out Thunderbolt's new arcade. Games are free at your birthday party. That's right, play as much as you want. And with pizza and soft drinks, we have everything to make your party a smash. Check out Cosmic Bowling and Arcades at Thunderbolt Lanes for your next birthday party. Call 313-928-4688 for more info.
Even when you're out and about, you're never far from home. The new Xfinity Home Control lets you shut off your lights, adjust your thermostat, and even make sure the repairman got in, all while you're on the go. Simplify your life with the total home control solution. And you can save up to 10% on your annual energy costs. Add Xfinity Home Control for as low as $9.95 a month with no term contract to sign. And we'll get you started today with an easy-to-use equipment pack starting at just $99.95. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
Welcome back. Let's talk about the Michigan Majors. It's been around for about 50 years. Scratch competition, the best in the state come out and compete on a monthly basis. Next month, one of their majors, the Match Game Championship at Mayflower Lanes in Redford, and we'll feature it right here on Michigan Kingpins. Metro Detroit USBC hosts championship tournaments for their members every year. Women's and Open Championship, and Mark Rottenberg has all the details.
The United States Bowling Congress is the national governing body of bowling as recognized by the United States Olympic Committee. They set the rules of bowling and look to their local affiliates to organize events across the country. The Metro Detroit USBC is the largest affiliate in the country with over 50,000 members. Every association is required to run a championship tournament for its members. The Metro Detroit USBC annually runs a women's championship and open championship over a 4-week period. This event is something these bowlers look forward to all year long. This year's event is at Taylor Lanes, with next year's event being at Sterling Lanes. They will crown champions in 3 events: team, double, and singles. But these avid bowlers come out for the event, the activities, and camaraderie. This event is part of the bowling lifestyle. They enjoy the 50-50 raffle, brackets, jackpots, mystery game, and the great sport of bowling. Libby, you organized 14 teams to come to this women's championship. What makes this event so special?
I've been bowling, this is now my 34th women's championship. I've been bowling since we were a women's organization, and ever since the merger I said I would always support women's bowling. So I've always felt that the only way you get people to come and bowl is to ask them. And so if you set up the squad and try to put teams together, I put a team together Thursday. And I think if you ask them, they'll come. Sometimes they just need to be asked.
What makes this event so special and so much different from the other events?
It's women's only. You know, since the little tiff that happened where we can't lock women out of the Open Championships, this is uniquely for women. It was women bowling against women with women. And I still think there's a place for women's championships.
How many teams are you going to bring next year?
I'm hoping for more than 20. I had more than 20 last year. This year, there was a group that this date didn't work for them, so they're still going to bowl March 1st weekend, so they're not out of the tournament. They just didn't come with me, but I am taking 38 teams to the state tournament.
Denise, this tournament is part of the bowling lifestyle in Metro Detroit. What do you like most about this tournament?
We come out every year. We really enjoy ourselves. It's something that goes beyond just regular league bowling, and we just enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. We do city, we do state, we do other tournaments, but when we come to the city, I try to bring in extra women who have never done tournaments before, and just to get them into something that some of them have never even thought about doing.
The champions of this event are recognized at the annual banquet at DeCarlo's in June, but it really doesn't matter who wins. Everyone has a great time with their fellow Metro Detroit bowlers.
The high school bowling season ended on a high note with the individual bowling state finals. Lauren Plan has all the action and highlights on how the boys and girls did in Division I.
Sunnybrook Lanes in Sterling Heights, the site for the Division I boys bowling singles finals. We start our coverage in the quarterfinal round because how often do you get to see a 300 game at a state tournament? For the second time in his life, Granville's Josh Kukla is perfect. That helped propel Josh to the finals, and his role continued. Kukla with the picture-perfect form to earn himself yet another strike. Standing in his way, Alex Stillwell of Hudsonville, giving us an OK Red Conference rivalry match. Stillwell did not disappoint, delivering with textbook technique as he tried to keep pace. More from Stillwell, the senior trying to finish his high school career on top, and one more time, Stillwell showing up big on the biggest stage. But the junior Kukla was simply in the zone all day long, strike after strike for this talented kegler as he was not going to be denied. Kukla with the state title and the 300 game along the way, first bowling title for Granville in school history. To the girls, and this was a one-team affair as both competitors represented Westland John Glenn High School. First up, Emily Dietz and the sophomore with the bullet right down Broadway for the 10-pin takedown. Teammate Julie Huron following suit. A little extra oomph behind that one. Perfect strike. It was clear early that we were in for a good one. Back to Dietz. She bowled a 277 the day before, and once again, the talented 10th grader following the form that got her here. Chalk up another X. In the end, the competitive fire of Dietz would be rewarded. Looking for the clincher, Dietz had the favor of the pins on this day. The two teammates sharing in the moment, but only one can be the champ. It was a difficult road to get here, but Dietz captures the first ever state bowling trophy for the Rockets of Westland John Glenn High.
I was down by 62 pins after first game, and I did it, and I was so proud of myself. And then I had to do the same thing again and again, and I just fought through this even though I didn't think it was possible, and I did, and now I'm state champ.
Well, that's about it for this month. The final episode of the season will air on Saturday, April 19th at 9 a.m. on CW50. Rebroadcasts of this show and all shows will air all week long on Comcast Channel 900. Next month, Michigan Majors Match Game Championship Mayflower Lanes, talked about it earlier in the show, will feature it. Also, the Michigan State Masters and Senior Masters. The Women's Series, it's their final event of the year, we'll cover it. Lawrence Tech, they're in the playoffs. Let's see how they did. Next time on Michigan Kingpins, your all-access show in the bowling capital of the world.
Michigan Kingpins is brought to you by the Metro Detroit USBC Association, your bowling resource. Lawrence Technological University, possible is everything. Frankenmuth Brewery and Restaurant, 150 years of tradition. Sandy Hansel and Associates, bowling is our business. Brunswick, the bowling leader. Trotside Restaurant, Northfield Downs' exciting dining experience. And Turbo Bowling Accessories, driven to bowl.